right, we good to go.
Out there, Henny Rock and the Henny Goose.
Do, do,
Hey,
do, do, do.
honestly, I've drunk both of those, and Henny Goose not bad. Henny Goose
Henny
is not
Goose
bad.
is crazy.
That
Henny
sound
Goose is
insane, bro.
It's insane. Wait. I'm not saying that it's not insane. College me was different. That was a different time. I was going through some things. You know what I mean? In the words of Kendrick Lamar, I've been going through something. Okay, but
Past
the
1,000 days.
the Henny Goose off the Simply Lemonade, brother. Like our new theme song said, light it up, because that is gonna get you where you need to be, brother. That's gonna get you where you need to be. But fellas, we got a lot to talk about, man. We got a lot to talk about. I know that it's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to. But we're back. We are back. We giving you 2 episodes this week. We are not doing the Arby's thing today because Arby's was closed by the time that we had got this thing rolling. But don't worry, I'm a man of my word. I'm going to eat the damn Arby's.
We gotta get that man some buffalo chickens on ice.
This man said buffalo.
He gonna be like, hey, these smack.
Do they have
promise.
any other flavor besides buffalo chicken? Because I don't like buffalo.
Yeah, they got the little snackers.
What flavors do they have of the snackers though?
Bro,
I don't
Arby's
frequent
has
Arby's.
everything
That
you can think
Arby's
of.
got everything.
Literally, you
Do
could say
they, do they got it in barbecue? Do they got it in regular barbecue?
Let's see, they sliders. They got buffalo. They got a regular chicken slider. They got jalapeno roast beef, and they got regular roast beef.
Bro, that don't sound sick to y'all. Like that. You know what? I'm not even finna.
The optics sound sick, but it's delicious, bro.
All right, bro. Y'all not gonna win me on this, but we see. Like I said, I'm not Daryl Morey. I'm a man of my word. Okay, I'm gonna keep my word. I ain't a lot of our fans. I ain't a lot of y'all boys. I'm gonna eat it. I'm in the words of Rick Ross, I'm gonna eat it. Okay, but with that being said, we got a lot to get into. We've been without sports for a while. Like I already just alluded to, Daryl Morey and James Harden are on the outs. This is something that has been very, very unexpected. James Harden is publicly calling him a liar and all that good stuff. We got Shohei doing GOAT-like things. And we have got to talk a lot about players who will be talked about in the annals of history or forgotten in about 10 or 15 years. Are y'all ready to get into this?
I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Well, let's do it. What's up, y'all? Have a seat. It's your favorite hour of the week with the Facts Over Axe crew. We got the master, the mix and master, Josh Guyton in the building.
That is I.
We got the money man, the man playing Chris Allen in the building.
From Chicago.
And then you got the little old MC, that's me, King Gibbs. By the way, before we get the show started, I have to acknowledge the work that this man Josh is doing with that ZNWA is insane. It is insane. And
Thank you, sir.
Here's the thing. I try to watch other E-Feds because I'm like, I guess I got to study up on E-Feds to know how they're actually doing by comparison. Them other ones be trash. There's no storyline or
That's what I'm saying. But people ask yo, why are you spending so much time? Why are you working so hard? It's because not only most E-Feds that you watch, they put it on a responsibility of the users to make their character. So they taking out a lot of the work because they just upload it to the server. They download it and they good to go. They not writing stories. They not doing cutscenes. They not doing custom entrances. They not having themes. The person that's streaming is always the world champion and got 80,000 fireworks on their entrance. Mm-hmm. And they fighting Squidward in the main event or something. It's a lot of work. We try to put on a TV show.
The quarter aisle storyline. Chef's kiss.
Let me explain it to those people that don't know wrestling like that, because I'm one of those people. He basically telling y'all he not using the box cake. He making his cake from scratch. Okay,
scratch.
He not using the box cake. He making his cake.
This
from
man
scratch.
got the eggs out. He got the batter out. This man got the whole shebang just laid out there.
I appreciate you, fellas. Thank you.
No problem at all, man. You got to give credit where it's due. But now we got to get into more things of the show variety. Fellas, we got to get into these shows, man. Y'all, we going to talk about TV shows that we watch growing up or watch right now and all that. And I don't want to put too much pressure on you. because I know we slated it for top 10, but 10 is aggressive because I can't remember.
Let's do 5. Let's do 5.
I can't remember what I have for breakfast this morning, so I'm gonna narrow it down to you for top 3. Give me your top 3 shows, and you got 2 that you can go honorable mention if you so choose. Talk to me.
Okay, so question: are we doing our favorite 3, or what do we think are the best 3? Because I feel like that's 2 different conversations.
I mean, either. If you want to say your favorite 3, if you want to say the 3 that you think are the best, if you want to combine them and say, hey, these 3 are the best, these 3 are my favorite, it's all good.
Ooh. Okay, so the best shows I've ever seen. I'm at 3. This is tough. At 3, I'm going to Wire.
Okay.
At 2, I'm going Breaking Bad.
Oh, that's a good.
At 1, I'm going Game of Thrones. Even though the last season was mid, the first 6 seasons is the greatest television I ever seen, and I'm not taking it back, bro. I'm not taking it back, and I do not care. The first 6 seasons is the greatest TV ever.
And y'all think that I'm the bad guy for not trusting his taste in food with the Arby's. Y'all think I'm the bad guy. This guy clearly likes torturing himself.
No, bro. Game of Thrones. The first 6 seasons. The last season is mid. The first 6 seasons is the greatest television I ever seen.
Let me tell you something. I got lost in Baltimore one time. Swear to God, got lost in Baltimore. Made a wrong left turn, and I literally heard in my mind, but you gotta keep the devil way down in the hole.
In my defense, The Wire can move up. I have to rewatch it because I haven't seen The Wire in like a decade. So maybe I got to refresh my memory.
What's crazy?
Omar and Brother Mozone. Omar and Mozone killing Idris Elba character is not something that's etched in your mind forever. That's not something that you.
I gotta redigest it. If we go on my favorite 3,
okay,
I'm going Boondocks. I'm going Entourage. And 3, just because of my name, my Twitch name, I want to go Simpsons because that show mean a lot to me. But honestly, after like season 12, The Simpsons is a pack of mid. Like everything after like 2003, the episodes start getting trash after that. So I don't know if I could put that, but I'm going Boondocks. Boondocks, Entourage. I'm gonna go Simpsons at 3.
All right, okay, all right. You gotta do it. I understand. I'm not mad at those 3. Those 3 are it's a solid 3. Chris, give them up. Your favorite 3 or your best 3, either one or both, whichever one you want to give. Talk to me. Uh-oh, did we lose Chris?
He flipped for a minute like he figuring something out.
Okay, well I'll give mine. While
we figure it out.
I'm a cheat, and I'm a cheat too because I'm a cheater. That's what I do here. So these are 2 shows, but I'm gonna combine them into one. This is my like favorite show. It's a comfort show of mine. I'm gonna watch it every time I'm about to go to sleep. It influenced a lot of like what I think about the world and all that. The Justice League series.
My bad.
You good, Chris? You good? I'm
good.
Going right now, so you can go ahead and get in right after me.
You going best or favorite?
This is my favorite.
Okay.
And actually, it's one of the best. Like that's one of the most.
Yeah, Justice League. I've watched that like 4 or 5 times over.
And I'm saying I'm cheating because it's Justice League and Justice League Unlimited coming right behind.
It's a package deal, bro. It's a package deal.
You can't separate them. You know what I mean? Like that was
Justice League is it.
Man, those shows. I've rewatched it like 1,000 times, and I still rewatch it and notice something new every single time that I watch. Like there's so much. It's the layers, the complexity, the depth, and the fact that like the good guys didn't win at the end of every episode. It was multiple times you were like, wait, are they about to lose? Like, are they cooked right now? Like, what's going on there? So that's probably my favorite. And then right behind it, I want to say that I'd probably go. I wanted to say Friday Night Lights, but like towards the end of the show, like when they added Michael B. Jordan, it got bad. Not because of Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan is not the reason. It just like the writing just took a steep decline.
I don't want to cut you off, but like, what's y'all one show that y'all was in love with, and then like at one point the writing just took such a turn that it like the show wasn't even recognizable anymore.
Snowfall.
Oh, you was telling me that. But for me, did y'all watch Teen Wolf?
No, I didn't.
Them first 2 seasons of Teen Wolf was some fire,
Hey,
and then they
you
started
looking
giving
real funny
unnecessary.
tonight.
I
You
don't
looking real
care.
funny tonight.
I don't care.
Teen
Teen Wolf slap, bro.
Teen Wolf.
Yes, Teen Wolf
is
slap, bro.
crazy. Teen Wolf is crazy.
Hey,
Go
listen,
watch
bro,
the
if it
first
wasn't
season of Teen
Guyton-
Wolf and come back.
If it wasn't Guyton, I would be surprised, but it's Guyton, bro. Come on now.
Teen Wolf is crazy. No, because you got to explain yourself. You got to come down to the carpet and explain yourself.
I don't have to explain myself, bro. When I was at that age, when Teen Wolf came out, we was like 15, maybe.
Tell me you were watching it for the reason I think you were watching it. Tell me.
No, it was just on. I remember how I started watching. It was just on, and I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and watch this, and it was some heat.
So you wasn't watching it for your shorty or a shorty that you was talking to at the time who just like loved it, and you was like, oh, I guess I gotta watch it now.
No, nope.
Hey, listen, I normally reserve judgment because like we've all done some things.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. You said you haven't watched it. You can't pass judgment on something you ain't seen.
I'm not what.
You can't judge it.
Here's the thing. I'll keep it a band with you. Now, like I just said, there's a reason that I specifically said, tell me you were watching it because of some shorty. Because we've all been there, right, Chris? You've seen the show only because the shorty watched it, right?
Yeah.
All them shows on Netflix, Love is Blind, everything.
Now, hold on now. Love is Blind is...
I forgot.
Judge me for Teen Wolf that plays Love is Blind, bro. No way. No way.
I watched it because of my shorty. I watched it because of my ex-girlfriend. If it wasn't for my ex-girlfriend, I wouldn't have watched Love is Blind. By the way, Don Gabriel, we love you. You're a friend of this pod. If I ever see you in real life, drinks are on me, pal. It's okay to love quickly. It's not love bombing. You just love hard. But anyway, yeah. But Chris is there with me. He's been there. My show that I watched because of the shorties was Pretty Little Liars. I'm not going to lie to you. I watched about 2 seasons.
Mine was Gilmore Girls.
So wait, you watched Teen Wolf off the strength and you watched Gilmore Girls? This is crazy.
No, I watched Gilmore Girls because of a shorty.
Okay, I was about to say, boy.
But it was decent. Gilmore Girls was decent.
Hey, honestly, why does that always happen? Like you start off watching the show because of your shorty, like,
man, you
I
be
keep watching.
The first 2 episodes, you be there, mad.
Bro. When I tell you, what was that show? Actually, wait, Love is Blind. So Dom wasn't on Love is Blind. What show was Dom on? It was the show where like all of them were dating. It was Perfect Match. That's the show he was on. Perfect Match was the show. But
my thing is, I've never continued to watch a shorty show post shorty. You still watching Love is Blind. That's insane. That's nasty work.
That's not my fault. First of all, hold on. This ain't about me. See, you see, viewers, how they distract you. You see how they distract you and get you off topic. Because you sat up here and watched Teen Wolf as a teenager. And here's the thing: if you don't know Josh, y'all don't know why this is so egregious. Josh spent more of his like waking time during the day working than any high schooler I've ever met in my life. Like, I never met a high schooler that worked as hard or as much as this man. And he would get done with work and be like, I gotta
decompress, bro.
Crazy.
I gotta decompress, bro. You remember back when the Xbox Ones first came out? You could do the picture in picture.
Oh my God.
I for sure got Teen Wolf right here, and we in the wreck. Hey man, I do not care.
You was selling in the wreck for Teen Wolf?
Hey, that's my show. The writing, like after season 3, I had to stop watching, man.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, you know what? Since we done derailed the conversation, let's just keep going on this tangent then. Chris, what's your guilty pleasure show? Or your guilty pleasure movie. We could throw movies in there too.
Okay.
Hey, I got that then.
Either one. The one that like nobody would expect or like nobody knows about, but like it's kind of your thing.
Okay, for sure, y'all wouldn't expect this out of me. Y'all wouldn't, but One Piece is my show. Y'all wouldn't expect that out of me though.
That's not that surprising.
I want to watch One Piece. It's too many episodes, dog.
Bro, I just started to grind, but like because I was watching Naruto and Boruto, I was like, I might as well give One Piece a try. You gotta get going, but once you get going, them 16, 17-minute episodes, they like that, man. They go
Let me
quick.
tell you, people always talking about like, oh, dating a black man, it's always a risk that at one point in time he's gonna want to start a rap career. I disagree. Dating any man, there's a risk that he will start One Piece at some point in time between the age of 18 and 35. It's a risk he's gonna start One Piece one day. He's just gonna wake up one day and be like, let's start One Piece, and he's committed. You gotta commit. You can't half commit to One Piece. You gotta fully dive in that mug.
Look, I don't watch as much anime as I used to, so I'm trying to catch up. So like, I got a list of stuff I gotta knock out that's shorter. But once that list is done, I'm gonna start the One Piece grind.
People are always surprised when I say I don't watch any anime, like whatsoever.
That's not surprising.
They are surprised when they find out I do watch anime. That's why I'm like shocked y'all didn't. But y'all know me for real though. Y'all know.
Hey, they got Degrassi in the chat.
Yeah.
They got old Degrassi in here.
I can say I've never watched an episode of Degrassi.
I hated Degrassi. I had to watch
Bro,
it. 'Cause
Degrassi's so mid, bro.
we only had one TV, and like we had to like alternate like who was gonna get what they wanted.
Not
And
y'all
mine
had a schedule for the TV.
Chris, don't do this. Don't do this.
Was it on the stove?
We know. I was about to say, we had entertainment center, bro. We had a perfect entertainment center, and all my shorties had perfect.
Y'all talking like it was me.
I said all my shorties had perfectly good entertainment center too. So how about that?
Y'all act like it was me. I got an entertainment center. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I was poorer than all my shorties growing up. I was the broke one. So how about that? How about that? But I had Monday nights because that was Monday Night Football. I always wanted Monday Night Football. And when I started getting older, that was when college games start coming on Thursdays and Fridays more. So like those were my nights to have a TV. And they got Degrassi now. I can't remember what night Degrassi was, but they got Degrassi. So, you know, that was Josh, what's your secret or guilty pleasure movie or show that like nobody
I got two. One of them y'all probably understand because it's a goofy movie, but it's one of those movies that's so goofy that like it comes back around to being good. Kung Fu Hustle. I love that movie.
Hey, that's my movie.
Kung Fu Hustle slaps.
That's my movie.
That movie
That's
it's
my
not
movie.
ringing a bell for me for some reason.
It's in Japanese is dubbed though. Like they talking over in English, like somebody's voicing over.
Oh wait, the '80s kung fu movie? Like
No, it came out in the
it's-
2000s. You ever seen the movie with the is it what one lady got like these frog
rollers
powers?
in her hair. Yeah, rollers in her hair and all that.
Hey, bro, my one dude, the old dude that looked homeless, he got hands, bro. Like,
hey, guy, he got hands.
Gibbs, go watch Kung Fu Hustle, man. That movie is fire.
Hey, the toe smashes when he came out the toe.
It's not really okay, so what's your second one?
Mean Girls.
Really?
Yes, Mean Girls.
Hey, Gibbs turned his camera off. I
I thought he left off that.
I thought he
no,
left off
no.
that.
I didn't leave. I couldn't see Chris, so I had to restart my
Okay.
because I couldn't see Chris. So I
No,
had to restart.
Mean Girls. Like Mean Girls, I feel like a lot of people overrate it because it's like it got so many like quotables. It's like a quote classic, but it's still a very good
Wednesdays,
movie.
We do wear pink. On Wednesdays we do. it
See,
backwards.
you hip. It's still a good movie. Like it got some good comedic bits in there. It's funny. And Mean Girls is one of those movies. I don't even remember how I ended up watching it, but I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and watch that. Mean Girls. I've had to make it's not super up there, but I've had to make like a top 20 list of movies. Mean Girls making my list for sure.
Yeah, Gone Girl is on mine too. Gone Girl is on mine too. That movie some heat. But I watched it for a shorty, and that movie was some heat.
So anybody who knows me well knows that I love romantic comedies. And so like this wouldn't be this wouldn't be a surprise if you know that about me, but obviously most people don't. Crazy Stupid Love is like that is a movie that like whenever I see it on TV.
I don't think I've seen it.
That movie some heat. Yes, that movie
It's so good.
I watched it with
It's
a
so.
shorty. That movie some heat.
Long story short, the premise is like multiple sets of people that are all in one family, like living their love lifestyle.
Ah, okay.
They overlap. So like Steve Carell gets cheated on by his wife. So then he goes to this dating coach who is Ryan Gosling, who teaches him how to be a player and how to pick up random women and all that good stuff. One of the random women that he picks up is his son's teacher. And so, like, there's that thing playing out. Also, the dating coach that taught him how to be a player is dating this young girl that talks about her dad sometimes, talks about her mom sometimes, talks about her parents going through some things. He doesn't know who she is. She's Steve Carell's daughter.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch that. Hold on.
But wait, the biggest and best layer of all of this is the son whose teacher Steve Carell was banging ends up having this massive crush on his babysitter. And at his graduation, he gives the most adorable speech about how in love with this girl he is. But by the way, that girl, the babysitter, is in love with Steve Carell the whole time. And so the hijinks that play out around all of that is like what the movie is about.
That's how he.
It's a beautiful movie. It's a beautiful movie. It's a really beautiful movie. You know, you gotta absolutely love it. And the other one is what was it? I want to say, what was the Tyler Perry movie that had Lance Gross in it and Angela Bassett? Angela Bassett was Lance Gross's mom.
I ain't seen a Tyler Perry movie in a
minute. It could have been
minute.
Family Reunion, because Family Reunion was the one where Blair Underwood was backhanded and all that. So it couldn't have been that one. Yeah, it was Meet the Browns. It was Meet the Browns, I believe.
Yeah, I was just thought about it. It was Meet the Browns.
Yeah, that's the other one. That was the last.
When they're with the Browns, yeah.
That's the last Tyler Perry.
He was
movie
Meet the Browns.
Yeah, that's the last Tyler Perry movie that I was like, all right, like I like this. That was like right when I started to grow up.
I feel like I ain't seen none of that man movies. Let me go look at a list.
The one with Bow Wow was kind of some heat too.
I never saw the one with Bow Wow. I never like. Everybody does the Byron thing, and I'm like, I know where it's from.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Never seen it. Like that was right when I was like, all right, bro, this Tyler Perry thing is getting whacked now. Like I've had enough.
Yeah, the last Tyler Perry movie I seen was Meet the Browns. That was the last one I saw.
Ah, that's crazy. And Rick Fox was in there too. Now that I think about it, Rick Fox was in there. Shout out Rick Fox, man.
Hey, Rick Fox be in the most random stuff.
Bro, he just doing random side missions. I love that for him. I love that for him, man. I really do. But now,
did you finish your top 3?
Oh no, I didn't, because we veered off course. We had to veer off course because things got out of hand because Josh was defending Teen Wolf as if that was like a normal thing. That he
Bro, Teen Wolf is a good show, and I do not care.
Let me clear my throat when I say this. Bring back shame in 2023. I know we were talking about bring bits back, but let's bring shame back. Shame had its place in society. It had its place, and we took that place away. Why did we do that?
So where do your list? What are your like parameters of shame come in? Because Teen Wolf is shameable.
Yes.
But like, I'm a crazy wrestling fan. That's not shameable?
No, not really. Not really.
I started playing Dungeons and Dragons. That's not shameable?
That's a little.
How deep? How deep are we in it? Hold on. How deep are we in it? Are you like?
Because it don't matter. It don't.
I do like one or two. No. I do like one or two campaigns a month, and they one-shot campaigns. They last a couple hours.
If you don't tell nobody about it, you good. Like if I don't find out about it, you straight. But like,
I'm not gonna lead with it.
If you're a LARPer,
that's wild.
Hey, when they used to run around in medieval times with the bells, shame. I would show up outside your crib with the bell saying, "A LARPer lives here," until you stopped. I would just be doing that every single day. So yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, those are my parameters for shame. Chris, you know what you've done to deserve shame, and I will shame you every time for it. But with that being said,
wait. What I do?
I'm joking, Chris. I'm joking. You caught an unnecessary strainer. You caught a completely unnecessary strainer.
I'm about to say,
but yeah, no. Listen, a little shame is good for the spirit every now and then. Every now and then, we need to be shamed out of doing certain things. So that's just a. I'm joking, by the way, everybody. Anybody who knows me knows I'd still love you if you LARP. My brother is 6 years older than me, still plays Pokemon religiously, plays Mario Kart with his daughters. Still love him all the same. So I would love Josh if he LARPed just like I do now, okay? There would be no difference in the love and care that I provide to this man.
Ironic you mentioned that. I was trying to get back into Pokemon, man. I fell off so much. I was like, you know what, forget it. It passed me.
Bro, Pokemon do like weird stuff now, bro. Like they like Dragon Ball Z characters now, bro. I couldn't keep up.
What you mean?
Cousin. Huh? Bro, It's like, you remember Pokemon Black and White was like the last one I remember when we was like in high school.
Yeah, mine was the last Pokemon that I was up on was Sapphire and Ruby, and that was like
I'm saying,
maybe.
I'm saying those are the ones we were playing, right? But like the ones that I knew about, like Pokemon.
Yeah, my little
right?
sister had Black and White,
Right,
so
right,
yeah.
my little cousin. Bro, Pokemon are doing crazy stuff now. Like, there's still new Pokemon coming out.
What do you mean by that?
like Pokemon are like charging up, fighting in midair. Like, they doing all kind of stuff now. It's like
They
crazy.
always did that. They always fought in mid.
No,
like
but Pokemon
hard.
back in the day was just like, you know what I'm saying, do Thunderbolt, and he just zaps somebody, and then it's the other Pokemon turn.
Exactly.
No, but remember, like if you played it on like GameCube and all that, that would like be the one that had the options for you to like do different moves and stuff that would affect the whole board. And like, oh, if you use this move, and
But
you
Chris
gotta,
make it
that's
seem
how
like
I
they
wanna-
Yeah,
scrumping.
they scrapping.
Oh,
now.
so they like real time scrapping.
Yes,
like, you
like-
doing
like-
oh.
Yes, my little cousin was
that
playing.
is
I'm
good.
like, bro, what do you play? He was like, Pokemon. I said, ain't no way you play. They throwing blows and fists and Pokemon. I'm like, what?
I'm not gonna lie. If I saw Raichu getting sturdy, I might.
I want no
be
smoke
tripping
with a
too.
Raichu, bro.
I'm a little confused too. Like, what's good with you, bro? So, I got you. Well, we got to get into these sports, man, because that's what we're here for, after all. We're here to talk about these sports. And I'm going to tell you this, okay? We're all being honest. You know, we're being honest on this show. Like I said, I'm a man of my word. I'm going to eat the Arby's. Arby's was closed today, but not today, but it was closed by the time we had gotten the pre-recording and all that. But don't worry, the second episode of the week, you will see me eating Arby's. So, with that being said, we got to discuss a man who is not being a man of his word, allegedly, and Daryl Morey. What the story is, allegedly, we're saying allegedly because we cannot, we don't want to get sued on this show because, you know, we don't, I mean, they'll be taking Chris for everything he got and looking at me and Josh like, oh, well, Chris, I guess you got to pay out triple. But with that being said, we are looking at a situation where Daryl Morey allegedly told Harden, if you take a pay cut on the front end, we'll give you a max on the back end, which is not materializing. And so Harden wants out, and he also took to the airwaves to say during a basketball camp that he was attending, Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never play for an organization that has him a part of it again. And then took the time to say, let me say that again, and repeated the statement. So he doubled down. You know, it's like the KFC double sandwich where it was like no bread, just two chicken. He hit one of them of calling Daryl Morey a liar.
What did we say? I think it was CW the other day, Gibbs. What did we say? Just meat.
Just
If
you and soccer say some real questionable
bro,
stuff during
if you were a
But
wrestling
I'm-
fan, you understand, bro. The only reason we say that is because Booker T used to do commentary. And he was doing a Brock Lesnar match, and he was like, "That boy don't want no bread, he don't want no water, he want just meat." So it's a thing now, man.
I want you boys arrested. I want you, but anywho, fellas, tell me, who's wrong in this situation? Is it Daryl Morey? Is he a smart businessman for just convincing them to take a pay cut? Is Harden gullible? Is Daryl a liar? Is Harden trusting? What's going on? Tell me what you think about the situation.
I wouldn't say he's a smart businessman. I would just say he's a businessman. We've seen this tactic be used across, you know, multiple sports multiple times. I feel the same way about NBA owners that Gibbs feel about landlords, right? And when you come to these situations, I'm going to be on the side of the players 99 times out of 100. Even though you could say that Harden was gullible in this situation, even though you could say, you know, maybe some people that don't think Harden is worth that super max at his age and his, you know, ability to perform in the playoffs that we've seen over the course of a few years. But at the same time, Harden thought that he was buying into a system. Harden thought that he was buying into an organization. He thought he was buying into, you know, for lack of a better term, a family. So you can't be mad at
He was
Harden.
buying into the process.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't be mad at Harden for holding somebody accountable to their word. Even though we're in business, even though people are gullible, even though people get finessed out of that situation all the time, one of the most famous sayings in the world is a man is only as loyal as his word, or my word is bond. So maybe he thought he was buying into that, and I'm not mad at Harden for not wanting to play.
Quick amendment. Just saw this. Just came across my desk. Apparently, it wasn't it wasn't the price that was what Harden negotiated. It was him opting in to this last year of his contract and being traded. He was told that if he opted in for this year, he would be traded immediately, and he has not been traded. And that is his gripe with Daryl Morey. So just a really, really quick moment there. That's why we say alleged, because we want to make sure we got things right here. And apologies, Mr. Morey and Mr. Harden, for getting that wrong. But yeah, apparently he was going to opt in and get traded. He hasn't been traded. So that's that. Honestly, I'm going to step in here and say this. It's still just as stupid to me. James, if you wanted to go, just go. Like, what do you mean opt in to be traded? My brother in Christ. No. You know what you would have opted out into? This fun thing called free agency. You know what free agency means? You can pick where you go, how much you make when you go there, and all that. You can pick everything, brother. Why would you opt in to get traded? What, you don't think that you're worth the amount that you're getting paid right now? So you're like, oh well, it's gonna be a win-win. I'm gonna shake your hand to opt into this money, and you're gonna shake my hand to opt in to trade me. Are you well? What's not clicking up here? Too many nights at King of Diamonds. Too many nights in Ace of Spades. Too many nights, brother. Get out of Tussies. Get out of there. Because it's rotting your brain. The lamb chops and the lemon pepper wings are rotting your brain, brother. Why would you ever assume that somebody's going to do anything other than what's best for them? And if you think about what's best for Daryl Morey, what is best for him? What can he get back trading? How old is James Harden now? What, 33?
Yeah, I believe 33.
33 or 34.
Either way you cut it or slice it, you're approaching your mid-30s, and you're darn near a max if you're not on the max. How big do you think your trade value is? And who's going to be the suitor that's going to get you? Who? You don't want to play for the Nets. That's the only team that has the assets and that would need a guy that can do what you do. Every other team in the league they're either contending and you would not help, or they're not good. And like you would go and congratulations, sell some tickets, win us 40 games maybe, but get knocked out in the play-in or first round. Anyway, I digress. Chris, what do you think about this situation of James opting in to get traded and not being traded?
I kind of got to side with James Harden on this one. Typically, I'm a businessman, right? And Daryl Morey played this just like a businessman should have. He told Harden something, and then the business required him to do something else. So typically, I would back up Daryl Morey in this situation. But
I'm honestly shocked and surprised that you're not backing Daryl Morey on this one.
Exactly. Typically, I would. But here's where I gotta give James Harden a little credit, right? Fate of the universe was on the line when they played the Celtics. James Harden won you 2 games when your best player wasn't there, right?
Yeah, he did.
So at that point, his trade value was very high. You remember when Harden won them 2 games?
Yeah.
Daryl Morey should have been working right then and there. He should have been working right then and there. I think Daryl Morey, he played the business card too tough with thinking that I'm going to be able to get a bag for Harden no matter what happens. And then Harden went out there and laid a stinker game 7. Then he been on tour with Lil Baby and all that. And he was public with everything. So I think Daryl Morey underestimated Harden's trade value. No, overestimated his trade value. And now he like, for what I'm going to get back for you, I might as well run it back, and we might be able to beat the Celtics now that they just lost Marcus Smart and they picked up injured Porzingis, who always hurt. So I think Daryl Morey played this wrong, honestly. I think Daryl Morey actually, he played poker, and he let the team know he was bluffing. He let everybody know he was bluffing.
That's fair. I honestly and truly, James, you got to stop this. You got to stop this madness, man. You too old to be requesting trades like this. I think that this need to be your last time requesting a trade, brother. You were good getting out of Houston, getting out of the net situation, hey, you all right. Okay, in the words of George Bush, fool me once, and can't get fooled again. Okay? Fool me, can't get fooled again. You got to stop. Because now, like, let's just say Daryl Morey were to say, oh, you don't want to play for us? Great. Cool. You just got to kind of sit down and sit on the bench. Think about this. What does Daryl Morey lose from that? Very seriously. Like,
I would say it would be maybe harder for him to acquire players, but I feel like James Harden have enough of a reputation to where that's not really going to affect anything.
The team that I think Harden would go to and really, really, really move the needle to it is Atlanta. You get Trae Young and Harden to switch, and I think Atlanta becomes a way better team. Way better team.
You saying
Both teams
Trae
get
Young? You're saying Trae Young for Harden straight up?
Yeah, I would do Trae Young for Harden straight up.
If you're the Hawks, do you do that though?
If I'm the Hawks, you already went all your chips in the basket. You got DeJounte Murray re-signed. You still got other trade pieces that you can go get another big. Like John Collins and Clint Capella are great trade pieces, but John Collins already out of there, my bad. But you got DeJounte Murray and Clint Capella still. James Harden showed he can play really well with Clint Capella, and also DeJounte Murray's an off-ball guard. You get another wing there. I think that team is better with Harden. They have a true big guard, another big guard playing with him, and they got a solid center.
I feel you. My only thing is, I think that they're aware of window. Like, I think that most NBA teams are very aware that, like, your window with Harden may be a year, maybe two, maybe. Harden said he was hurt the last 2 years, and next year we're going to see the full offensive him, and then he demands a trade. Brother, we're not buying what you're selling. We're not buying.
If you think about it, though, Gibbs, Trae Young is not number one on the championship team, right?
I agree. I thought it was agree.
Not at all.
2019 and back, 2019 to 2016, Harden was a number one on the championship team. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, right. So you don't need him to be the number one because you can still have enough players around him where he could be like 1A and have 1B and 1C, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trae Young, though, next to Embiid, I'm terrified of that. If I'm the league, I'm terrified of that. I'm terrified.
But here's my thing. I don't think the Hawks do it because I'm not. How old is Trae Young? 24, 25?
Somewhere around there.
I'm not giving that away for a 34-year-old. I'm not. I agree.
Yeah,
he's not a number one on the championship.
Anyway,
24.
Because you know he's not your guy though. You gonna have to.
But here's
anyway. You get 1 year Harden, all that money off the books.
So here's the thing. Not only do I not believe Trae Young is a number one on the championship team, I also believe that you can tank with him as your number one. I 1,000% believe that. I'm 1,000% on board. You can have him as your number one and win 30 games.
I don't. I think he keep you on the play-in or he keeps you in the first round of the playoffs. I don't think you could tank with him. I don't think.
The way I see it, this is a traffic cone defensively. That is.
Yeah, but you got the players around him that fit him.
But the players around him, if you're going tanking, get rid of them. Get all of those guys out. Get what you can in terms of some picks and all that. And tell Trae, listen, brother, you're 24. We could have played this one or two ways. You see what's happening with Dame? That's what happens when you don't blow it up and you just say, we'll just build around you. We'll work around. We want greatness around you. So we're going to surround you with a number one overall pick, number 2, 3 overall pick in the next couple of years, and we're going to get you really rolling. How's that sound? And let that be that. Or you could go the Dame route where you don't run from the grind and you end up a perpetual 5 to 8 seed getting bounced in the first or second round. Those are your options. The answer is yes. So I don't know if but I'm a quote Socrates. I'm a quote Jay-Z in the line of Socrates here. I don't believe you. You need more people. Is what I would tell. Is exactly what I would tell James Harden if I was Daryl Morey, because I'm like, you opted in, dummy. You're stuck now. If you wanted to be a free agent, you should have just did your free agent deal. You opted in, and you let me have the power of telling you where you were going to go. So I really don't care what you got going on there. You're a great player, but you're not GOAT level. So the rest of the players in the NBA are not going to blackball us forever because we did you dirty. There are still players happily lining up to go play for the Celtics despite how they did Isaiah Thomas.
True. Very true.
And he did the worst way. That man was still asking to come back and play with them even after they did him dirty. And they never even gave the boy a roster spot again. So, with that being said, we do have to talk about a player that is GOAT level. What if I told you that there was a quarterback who was leading the league in touchdown passes? Oh, and by the way, he doubled as a safety and was 11th in the league in interceptions. Would you believe that's real?
Of course not.
What if I told you that there was a goalie in hockey? The man was, leading the league in scoring for all goalies. And on top of that, not just leading the league in scoring for all goalies, leading the league in scoring, period. And on top of that, had the 8th best save rate in the NHL. Would you believe me?
Not at all.
And yet, we're looking on the diamond, and we're seeing Shohei, also known as Goat-Hei Ohtani. That man is whacking more balls out the yard than Khalees's milkshake could possibly bring in. This man, on top of that, is one of the best pitchers in the game while leading the MLB in home runs. Fellas, in your estimation, is Shohei in the baseball GOAT conversation?
Yes.
I think you got no choice but to put him in there. I mean, I don't think we ever see this again.
Oh, okay.
I mean, baseball has been around for 100+ years, and this is the first time we've seen something like this. I mean, we haven't even seen somebody that's been able to successfully play both sides, pitching and hitting, let alone be top 10, top 5 in both categories.
We saw it. It was just before integration. That's all.
That don't count. Who do we see it with?
Babe Ruth.
He didn't. He once he became on the offensive side of the ball, he stopped pitching. He pitched before he started playing the other side of the ball. He didn't do both at the same time.
That's fair. That's very fair. That's very fair.
I don't think we'll ever see something like this again.
And he wasn't like Shohei pitching. Like he was like, back then pitching.
Back then it wasn't this.
Right.
Like, it just, you know what I mean? Like, you serve up what they was pitching back then. Aaron Judge hitting that ball in the orbit. It's gonna hit
70 miles an hour was like gas back then.
I mean, it was.
Don't disrespect him like that, bro. 70 miles an hour was not gas back then. It was?
Yeah, bro. They didn't wind up nothing. They just used to go up there and throw.
Oh, that's so bad.
The first pitcher in MLB history where it was like, yo, he liked that was Cy Young, and his four seam was like capped out at 91.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's it's back there, but
that's slow.
Of course.
People throwing changeups that's 91 right now.
First of all, don't throw a changeup that's 91 because I'm mad now. I'm mad. Why is your changeup 91?
Because your fastball 97, 98.
Bro, I would literally break down in tears if somebody threw a ball at 91 miles an hour and I'm like, that's a great fastball right there. And bro's like, that was my slider. What do you mean?
Right.
What do you mean that was your slider, bro? Like, I thought it was just a fastball with a little bit of movement on it. What is you doing? This is crazy. But no, but seriously. Chris, is Shohei in the GOAT conversation for you?
Yeah, I mean, so if you think about it, who is in the GOAT conversation right now, Gibbs? Like,
in terms of baseball?
That's currently playing?
I don't think there's anybody that's currently playing that's in that conversation.
No, I'm just saying in general.
I mean, baseball is a little different because, like, the positions are so different. It's kind of hard to, like, nail down, like, oh, this is. But
Gibbs, the reason why I asked the question. Oh, go ahead.
But what I was gonna say was Shohei, for me. The two things that I value most in baseball, and maybe this is because I'm not a baseball guy, is good pitching and the ability to hit the long ball. And so, like, Randy Johnson, who's that pitcher that pitched forever? He threw 3 separate no-hitters in 3 decades.
Nolan Ryan,
Randy Johnson, Barry Bonds, those are the guys that I look at and I'm like, oh, they're in my GOAT conversation for baseball. Like those would be the guys.
And exactly, Gibbs. Exactly. Yeah. That's my point. Those guys only did one thing extremely well.
Yeah, I get that.
Shohei does three things extremely well.
That's fair. Although, in all fairness, Barry Bonds does have 8 Gold Gloves. He got 8 Gold Gloves. I'm just saying. He was whacking that thing out the yard. He was also good at fielding.
I got you.
That was 2 different Barry Bonds, though. Gold Glove stealing bases, Barry Bonds.
Stop it.
Pirates and Giants, Barry Bonds is 2 different players.
Stop playing.
Pirates and Giants, Barry Bonds is 2 different players.
See, and this is what I hate about Barry Bonds' discourse. Because, like, everybody likes to separate him like that. Both versions of Barry Bonds were Barry
elite.
Bonds, bro. No. Both of them were Barry Bonds. Like
I agree.
Barry Bonds, when he was with the Pirates, led the league in walks multiple times. People were afraid of pitching to this man, even when he was not.
That's true.
Everything he touched flew out the yard.
That's true.
Barry Bonds was always Barry. Even before the roids, he was Barry. But then again, we didn't catch you doing roids, Barry, so you innocent. You know what I mean? As far as I know, you innocent. But nudge, nudge, wink, wink. He innocent like OJ innocent. But yeah, you know, I think that both versions of Barry was crazy. But yeah. I'm gonna tell you this though. Shohei does the 2 things that I value the most at the highest level. I mean, this is insane. What's the home run record in the season? What is it, like 60, 63?
73?
73? Oh my God. Just, whoa, Barry was doing something different, man. That's crazy. But would that be? Wait, no, it's not even Barry that got it. It's what?
It's Mark.
No, it's McGuire.
It's Barry Bonds.
Oh, Barry Bonds.
73.
Yeah. So
yep.
That's crazy.
I mean, technically they don't count it. Them not counting that, but counting Mark McGuire's is crazy.
Who is that? Who is they that don't count it? Because if they count, if it's the they that count Mark McGuire's, then I don't want to hear it.
You know what it is.
Because listen, Big Macs had what on them? Juice. Okay. And that's, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't about to tell me that you only including one or the other. Like either both of them in there or neither of them in there. But with that being said, like I said, Shohei does both of the things I want to see done at a high level. He does both of them. Like that's why he's, you know. And also, it's like wildly entertaining to think about somebody on one day striking out 10 batters and then the next day going yard twice.
That's insane.
Which, by the way, Shohei Ohtani has done in real life. Like, I do that type of stuff on the show and be feeling pumped up about it. Like, and
he's a literal video game player.
He's a literal video game player. This is insane. This is it's something like we've never seen. And, by the way, he's not afraid of the big moment. The fact that he struck out Trout in the World Baseball Classic to give Japan the win. Brother, the problem, his only problem, he got the same problem LeBron had when he came into the league. You got drafted to the wrong team, brother. You got drafted to the wrong team. Because ain't no way you're doing that in the toughest moment. Like you literally are hitting this man with straight gas. The first pitch, 98. Second pitch, 97. Third pitch, not even in the zone, and got one of the best eye discipline batters in the game today to swing at something that was nowhere near the zone.
Yeah.
What's crazy, the Angels the only team that got a movie that they star in and they still suck.
Terrible. terrible. But that we need to see him play some playoff baseball, okay? Free my dog Shohei till it's backwards, man. Free him. He need to leave in free agency. He need to go on somewhere and skedaddle. Go somewhere where you can play some meaningful baseball.
I think they should just do him a favor and trade him, bro. Like, could you imagine him playing for the Yankees or the Dodgers?
Please don't say the Yankees. Nobody wants to see anybody else go to the Yankees. We're all tired of it. We're all tired, Chris.
We tired of it.
Yankees,
we're exhausted.
But it's probably gonna happen.
Every jersey they have.
We're exhausted of the Yankees. We've had
him
enough.
in New York is insane.
I never root against Michiganders. Never root against Michiganders if I know that they're from Michigan. So shout out to Aaron Judge. We show him love. Which one is it? Is it Jeter or is it A-Rod that's from Michigan?
Jeter.
Jeter
from Kalamazoo.
Shout out to Jeter. We love you. I'm tired of the Yankees.
That's my guy. That's my goal right there.
Don't send that man. Do not send that man. Do not send that man to the Yankees, please. We've had enough. We've had it, and don't send him to the Dodgers either. We've had enough.
Also, my goat is Cabrera.
We've had love that for you. But anyway, we've had enough. Like that's stop. So with that being said, in terms of what we're looking at for the rest of this show, we know that there's nothing that can happen where Shohei is going to be forgotten. There's nothing that can happen where Shohei is going to fall out of the popular lexicon. If we ever see a two-way player in another sport that's that great, he's going to get compared to Shohei Ohtani. And so that brings us to our final segment to close this show out. Forever or forgotten. On today's game show, we're going to name NBA and NFL players that are currently superstars. Whether or not, and we're going to say forever for forgotten, based on whether or not in 10 to 15 years, we believe that people will still be talking about them as greats, or if they're a guy that people are like, he really was good, huh? So, the first name on the list is y'all boy, not mine, Pandemic P, Playoff P, Podcast P, Paul 2020. Sure. Don't call that man T-Mac 2023. Leave T-Mac out of this.
Team Easy 2020.
Wow. This is disgusting. Paul George, forever or forgotten? Take your pick, fellas.
Forever for me.
Okay, forever.
For the time frame we're doing, I'm going forever.
Okay.
Only because I don't think people are going to remember him as a player, but I think social media is going to be a much bigger monster at that point than it is now, and I feel like Paul George is going to be one of those bag players.
But I'm and that's why I'm gonna say forgotten, because 9 times out of 10, when you do certain things off the court and people know you for off the court, they forget who you are. Like, for example, JJ Redick has a podcast called The Old Man and the Three. Many people forget. Isn't JJ Redick top 15 all time in 3-pointers in the NBA?
Might be higher than that.
And people forget. You know what's even crazier about JJ Redick? If you talk about what he was in college, I've always hated Duke. I've hated Duke for all my life. That's not like I came to NC State and started that thing. Like, I have always hated Duke.
Now he's number 18.
Oh, okay. And yet, people forget that man was a sensation at Duke. That man was.
JJ, you still remember though, Giz. I thought you was gonna say the one I'm thinking of. Gilbert Arenas is the one that people. He got a dog podcast. Gilbert Arenas is the one that I'll be like, people don't realize Gilbert can say this type of stuff because Gilbert was really him. Like,
yeah, he was him. But Gilbert, I think Gilbert has the benefit of off the court stuff. So like,
I think we remember Gilbert a lot more fine than he really was. Dog had like 3 good seasons, bro.
His peak was so crazy.
Hear
me out. He walked into Adidas. They were talking about making him a shoe deal. He said, whatever the first deal is, I'm going to slap the table, say, y'all BSing, and I'm going to walk out. And then they're going to have to come back with a bigger number. He really did that, and it worked. That's how good he was at his peak.
But his peak was like D Rose in 2011.
But after those 3 years where he was like Curry before Curry, he kind of fell
He had.
But what I'm saying is, though, I think Gilbert was before his time, though. Like, if Gilbert played in this NBA.
I agree.
My God. Gilbert would average 30.
1,000%. He averaged 30 in his day, I want to say.
Exactly.
He was.
Imagine Trae Young guarding Gilbert Arenas.
Gilbert averaged over 23 times.
But that's my point. But now hold on, see, and Josh is being a little disingenuous there because over 20 is not selling. That man averaged like what, 29 in one of those years?
26, 29, 28.
Exactly. That's almost.
But I'm saying though, people talk about Gilbert like he was this dog that ran the league. He was there for a coffee break, and he was whack before and whack after.
And hear me out. This is why I say Gilbert Arenas is the beneficiary of stuff that like had nothing to do with him getting on the cover of NBA Live. Forever boosted up the player that he actually is. Like, we remember, oh yeah, he was on the cover of Live. He was on the one where you had to like switch between your special abilities and like do all the stuff. Yeah.
I for sure was off the Live train by then.
Hey,
My last live was '05. I was a two. I've been a 2K head since Dreamcast.
well, I
Me
guess I'm
too,
by
but I
myself.
was on live till 08.
Hello, I was right there. With
'05 was my last one, man.
Bro, it was crazy because you could do like 720 dunks the same way you would do a step back three. It was the literal craziest controls I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, EA, you're not trying very hard anymore. Please don't do this anymore. But yeah, Gilbert Arenas, and also nothing that Gilbert Arenas did off the court like made him seem cornier. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that Gilbert Arenas does is like, oh, it's actually like, it's not smart. Don't get me wrong. It's stupid. 28-year-old adult me is like, oh, that's stupid. Kid me was like, hey, he kind of cool. Like, he kind of
Facts.
Like, y'all suspended him for bringing a strap. Like, what's the problem? What's going on here? So, you know. But the next player on Forgotten or Forever is his running mate. The guy that everybody tells me his longevity and ability to play are apparently longer than his braids, which I very strongly disagree with. Kawhi Leonard, talk to me. Forever or Forgotten?
Forgotten.
Okay.
That's a tough one.
Josh, what you got?
I'm going to go Forgotten, and I feel like when Kawhi does get brought up, which is kind of crazy because this man is a multiple-time Finals MVP, one of the best players ever defensively. But when I say Forgotten, I say Forgotten in the same way that like Scottie Pippen is viewed now. Like Scottie Pippen isn't necessarily forgotten, but if you talk to younger people, like they not talking about Scottie Pippen, a basketball player. They talk about Scottie Pippen, and Jordan and Future are the first things that come up. They not talking about Scottie Pippen, one of the best defensive forces the NBA ever seen.
Like
That is insanely nasty work. Future.
It is. It's nasty work, but that's what it is.
And you know what? That part, when I look at Scottie Pippen, I'm legitimately looking at a top 20 player of all time. Like, not even joking. Top
You can make the
20
argument for sure.
At worst, at absolute worst, I give you 30. At absolute worst, I give you 30. You cannot name me 35, 40 players better than Scottie Pippen. You can't.
Agreed.
Like, oh, that hurts my feelings. I'm gonna tell you this. And I'm pissed off because I feel like y'all just going against me just to go against the grain here. Kawhi's gonna be remembered forever because again, his antics are like he's so understated that his antics will forever. Board man gets paid is gonna live on forever. Like that's never gonna die. Like that's.
But at the same time, are people going to remember that quote, or are they going to remember Kawhi Leonard, the ball player?
The laugh. That's never gonna get.
He gonna be to these kids. He gonna be the dude on the meme.
Well, sure, he gonna be the dude on the meme, but like that meme is gonna lead them to look up. Like, wait, oh, he does have 2 Finals MVPs. Oh, wait, he is responsible for the only championship ever. Which, by the way, that came the first time LeBron had missed the playoffs in about 16 or so years. The first time LeBron wasn't in the playoffs, the wrong country got the chip. Just want to keep that in mind for all of you who said that LeBron isn't a Patriot. Think about that for a second. But in all seriousness, I think that Kawhi is going to be remembered in terms of his ability to do things on the court and when he was healthy, what a dog he was. The next player up is a player that is potentially on his way to being in their tier, but not quite there yet, some would say. Some would say he's already there. Jason Tatum. Got quiet. Chris, you out of Boston now. You can speak freely, brother. You can speak. You don't have to fight those urges, my brother. You don't have to fight those urges.
I'm going to say forever because he came into the league with this young bag Twitter. And I feel like because of Deuce and all that, I feel like forever for Jason Tatum. Forever.
Okay.
I'm gonna go forever because he's a Boston Celtic.
Okay.
And if you're one of the marquee players for what people call one of the greatest franchises, even though they got one ring in like 40 years, you're going to be remembered just because anybody that's contributed slightly to the Celtics dynasty is on that forever list already.
Again, Ronald Reagan destroyed that team. They ain't did nothing since that boy been in office. That's crazy.
I'm just saying, even if you look at players, if you look at players, Because if we would have played this game, if we had a podcast in the 80s and we would have played this game, we would have been like, yo, Robert Parrish, forever forgotten. We would say forgotten, but if you think about it, Robert Parrish has stayed relevant. But through the way
He got the Iron Man award. He got the Iron Man thing.
I know, but at the same time, bro, like Robert Parrish is not. If you put Robert Parrish on his own squad in the 80s, they not hooping.
They not hooping. They are in fact not hooping.
they not hooping.
They not hooping. No, not at all. Not at all. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'll say forgotten, but with the caveat of, if he wins a ring or has a playoff series where he averages 40 or he drops 60 in the elimination game, forever. Because Boston, they love to, any player, you're right, any player that does something great for Boston, they like are instantly, you know, in wrestling terms, they're over instantly. Sure.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything to make him the megastar. He hasn't done it. He's not there. He's just not there, with all due respect. So it's tough for me to say he'll be remembered forever for being a great Boston Celtic if he hasn't done anything great. If you look at Paul Pierce, he got a championship. If you look at Ray Allen, all-time leader in threes before Steph took it from him. If you look at Bird, obviously Bird owned almost all the Celtics records before he retired. If you look at McHale was a part of multiple championship teams. If you look at all the guys, Bill Russell, Cousy, all of them, they were a part of championship teams, or they as an individual did something that was so great, it stood on its own in terms of, like, in the annals of time, Boston would never let you forget that they did that. Tatum doesn't have that signature moment. He doesn't have that space right now. So that's just my opinion there. He has to do something. He's young, so he still has a lot of time, but at this moment, I would probably say forgotten. We're going to get into a few football players, and then we'll get on out of here. But before we do, I just want to get in one last basketball player. Damian Lillard.
Forever,
just because of the dang time. That's the only reason why.
It's not even that. When it's all said and done, he's going to be the greatest Blazer of all time. So when you think of that team, it's just going to automatically go to Dame. That's the reason.
The shot over Paul George makes him forever. Without that shot, he's on
crazy, bro.
Without that shot, he's on the verge. He's on the cusp.
I think the best part of that meme is like the 80-year-old lady in the crowd doing this before he took the shot. That's hard. That's hard.
To me, the hardest one was the edits of it with
Father Stretch My Hands. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Paul George, why did you jump, brother? Why did you jump?
Like it would have been better if Paul George just was like, you know,
exactly, would have waved him off like, nah, that's a bad shot. You got it, bro. You reached.
You reached and dove.
And he still gave it to you.
One leg in the air, Gibbs.
Ooh, my heart was hurting for that boy. Anywho, we're going to get into these football players. The man who has his own podcast with his brother, who is not a brother, Travis Kelce.
I'm going to go forever.
Okay.
I'm going to go forever.
Yeah, I too would agree forever. The football players and basketball players got different criteria. And for football players, anything that you do off the field that's memorable will keep you in the spotlight forever. Like, that's just the reality. As much as people talk about O.J. Simpson and the things that he did or did not do, the fact that he did or did not do those things is the only reason that people still remember him as the first ever back to rush for 2,000 yards. Like,
yeah, but
that's it. If those things didn't happen, that would be a trivia question. Who was the first NFL back to rush for 2,000 yards? And nobody would know it. Nobody would. Some people would guess Eric Dickerson. Some people would guess.
I know it's been done a few times, so we don't really think about it. But 2,000 yards on the ground is nuts.
It's insane.
That's nuts.
Boy, I tell you, that is one of the crazier stats to come up with in all the sports. All right, let's talk about Ezekiel Elliott. Forever or forgotten?
Forgotten.
Really?
Only because when you think of running backs in the NFL, you have to be revolutionary to even be remembered 5-10 years from when you played. Like, even if you look at a player as elite as like Shaun Alexander was, we know who Shaun Alexander is. He's forgotten by most of the general public.
I give you one more recent, Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, you kind of right, bro. Yeah,
You're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
You're right. He did.
Le'Veon Bell.
And you know what's crazy? The only time Le'Veon Bell gets brought up now is because of like the situation with Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley, where like running backs wasn't getting paid, and they're like, "Oh, it's your fault," and it's like, it's not his fault. Like the NFL just doesn't value you. That has nothing to do with Le'Veon. Like even if he would have went out there and played great, I promise you, the NFL would still pay you peanuts, brother. That's kind of how the deal works out for you. I'm sorry to tell you that. But I'm gonna say this. I say Ezekiel Elliott is forever for two reasons. Number one, he played with the star on his helmet. And when you got it's certain brands that give you a boost. For example, somebody asked this weekend, and we're gonna end it after this. Is Matt Stafford a Hall of Famer? I put up the stats of two players, Matt Stafford, Eli Manning. Statistically, Matt Stafford is light years ahead of Eli Manning. Eli and Matt played during the same era. So you can't say,
Right.
Eli came into the league in a different NFL. They played in the exact same NFL, and one of them played with a worse defense and Calvin Johnson. That's it. That's the difference.
But I will break it to you like this though. One, he didn't win a ring. Two, Zeke didn't have this run that's like undeniable. I mean, yes, you're a Cowboy. Yes, they got legendary players, but the running back is not the position when you think of a Cowboy. That's not what you think of outside of Emmitt Smith. I mean, of course you can because you're a football head, but no casual fan or even somebody that like watches NFL often is naming you like two Cowboys running backs.
Well, but no two Cowboys running backs are Zeke Elliott. Like that, he is the only Cowboys running back that's better than him is Emmett. That's it. Nobody is saying, with all due respect, nobody is saying, oh man, no Sean Moreno was different.
No, Sean Moreno was a dog on Madden.
I'm sorry, not No Sean Moreno. I'm thinking of Marion Barber. Marion Barber the third. I'm thinking of I don't know why I said No Sean Moreno. But yeah, nobody's saying Marion Barber was just different. Tony Dorsett is the only other one that's like in that area. And like Zeke, just in terms of longevity, it's hard to say, hey, Zeke wasn't the guy. It's really, really hard to say that. So,
Yeah.
I'm looking at this, and I'll tell you this. If Zeke finds a way to bring the Patriots back to some relevance and decency, I mean, you're going to have a tough time telling me that one of the Cowboys' all-time leading rushers is left behind in terms of who he is or whatever the case may be.
I just think it's really hard to put a list together of running backs that are forever.
That's fair. Because
when you talk about forever, we're talking about Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, OJ.
But mind you, for the purpose of this exercise, we're not actually talking about forever because we know in reality, if you talk about forever, like all of these guys are going to be forgotten except for like the GOATs, the guys that are like they revolutionized the game.
Right.
We're talking about 10 years from now. I think 10 years from now. And another thing that works in Zeke Elliott's favor, which is a hijinks thing, but it's kind of sad. His last play as a Cowboy had him at center getting ran. That's going to be remembered for a while.
That's nasty work.
That was a crazy way to go out. Flatly insane. So, Anywho, we know y'all tired of us talking about history, talking about these shows, talking about Josh watching Teen Wolf in between shifts at Wendy's. But come on back next week and the week after that and the week after that. Peace and love, y'all.